The new righteous indignation on El Señor Bernie Sanders is that, oh, he said something nice about Castro, the dictator of Cuba, and somehow he is wrong. Bernie said, you know what? There are a few good things that Castro did. And oh my God, it creates a great big hassle with a whole lot of supposedly democratic candidates and democratic people and democratic whatever. The truth of the matter is, that's a statement of fact. People who looked like me back in Cuba during Batista were sweeping floors. People who looked like me back in Batista's days were washing dishes, were singers, entertaining. Because that was a racist society that looked much like the Florida across the straits. When El Señor Castro came in, guess what happened? People that looked like me became engineers. People that looked like me became lawyers. People that looked like me became doctors. Of course, nobody liked the authoritarianism that became Cuba. Nobody liked the communism that became Cuba. But guess what? Had we not held against Castro, that what happened was, he overthrew a horrendously corrupt capitalist Batista that was a fraudulent leader, you know, Cuba would have been a different place altogether. So where commendations ought to be given, commendations should be given. When they shouldn't be given, they shouldn't. And you know what? It was wonderful seeing Sanders' campaign manager not back down, but pretty much laid waste to Wolf Blitzer. Check this out.
We also heard, as you know, over the past day or so, the senator offer at least a very partial defense of Fidel Castro. Do you worry those comments are going to alienate some of these moderate, so-called moderate Democrats?
Wolf, Senator Sanders doesn't play political games with issues. You ask him a direct question, he's going to give you a direct response, and he's going to give it to you with honesty and integrity. And again, I think on that issue, you saw him say this was an authoritarian regime, engaged in brutal human rights abuses. However, does that mean they didn't also do maybe something positive? You know who else said that? Barack Obama, when he was president of the United States and he loosened ties with Cuba, lifted the travel embargo. He talked about the fact that the Cuban regime had done some positive things for its people. Is it a crime to have suggested that? No. I mean, you have to call a spade a spade. If they're engaging in human rights abuses, you can say that. And if they happen to do something positive, you can say that. And by the way, that's why I think Bernie Sanders is a different kind of politician. He's just going to be honest with you. He's not going to play political games with these matters.
Let us all remember that our own current president is in cahoots with Duterte in the Philippines, Kim Jong-un in Korea, Putin in Russia, and the president of Turkey. So let's be careful about who really has the high road on dealing with those dictators from other countries.